In Kirby and the Forgotten Land, there's a new feature. With the help of the crafty Weapons Shop Waddle Dee and a couple of rare stones, every single copy ability can be evolved. Unfortunately, Kirby and the Forgotten Land only has 12 copy abilities, while there are over 60 copy abilities in the entire Kirby franchise. So why stop at 12? Why not give almost every single copy ability 3 evolutions, including an entire moveset for the new 3D environment Kirby has been sucked into? Hello everyone, I'm Dexus and welcome to Kirby's Forgotten Ability, a series where I will be making blueprints for Kirby's abilities that didn't make it into Kirby and the Forgotten Land. First off, we have Planet Popstar's very own World Warrior, Fighter. The moves that get to return with this ability are Vulcan Jab by tapping attack, the 3 iterations of Force Blast by pressing and holding and then releasing attack, Leg Sweep by sliding, Spin Kick by pressing attack after leg sweep, Rising Break by pressing jump after leg sweep, and Moon Somersault Kick by pressing attack in midair. Kirby is allowed to rotate in place while doing Vulcan Jab, and also while charging Force Blast. For Fighter's first evolution, Kirby hits it to the ring like a quick fighter from the Bronx with Boxing Fighter. Vulcan Jab now has 2 variations. By slowly tapping attack, Kirby does one punch after the other, those in order being a right-handed jab, followed by a left-handed hook, and followed by a 1-2 punch, which then ends with a left-handed uppercut, this being called the 1-3-1-2-5 combo. If you mash the attack button instead, Kirby will do the right-left rush, where Kirby does a flurry of jab punches. However, unlike Fighter's Vulcan Jab, this one comes to a halt with a right-handed uppercut after a few seconds. The 3 charges for Force Blast get a complete overhaul. You see, unlike Kirby's street fighting in the first ability, for boxing you want to be as close as possible to your opponent. Therefore, instead of blasting giant force balls, Kirby instead lunges and makes their way closer to their foes, with some different 4-star punches. The first 4-star punch charge is the regular star punch, in which Kirby takes half a second to pull back their punch and then punches with all of their strength forwards, channeling all of their force into a star. The second 4-star punch is 4-star rush, in which Kirby dashes forwards and upon detecting a foe, throws a sparkling, flashing uppercut. The third and final 4-star is star lunge, where Kirby first rears their arm back and then throws a sparkling, flashing cross punch that slides them forwards with immense force and distance. With this evolution, Kirby loses their leg sweep and instead does the traditional slide. However, its following moves still remain. Spin Kick now being Traveling Star Punch, where Kirby leaps forwards and performs an airborne downward hook. Meanwhile, Rising Break is now Rising Uppercut, which is basically just a faster version of Fighter's Rising Break. Finally, Moon Somersault is now Down Jab. For the next evolution, a good friend of mine takes over. Why is this? Because they were a great help coming up with this ability. Take it away, Savi!
Call me Savvy the way I game, hello Dextus. In Fighter's second evolution, Kirby stands proud and channels their soul with Spirit Fighter. In this evolution, Kirby's not the one to physically do most of the attacks. They channel their soul into a physical form called Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd does most of the attacks for Kirby, while Kirby strikes a pose, and for attacks is then free to move while Pink Floyd takes care of the attack. Fighter's Vulcan Jab is now Barrage Rush, which is a stronger and wider version of Vulcan Jab. As opposed to Vulcan Jab, which is performed with one fist, this attack is performed with both of them. For this attack, Kirby's fighting spirit stands beside Kirby and performs the attack for them. Additionally, if you hold the attack button after mashing it, Kirby will perform a traveling barrage rush, where Kirby's fighting spirit will propel itself slightly forwards with every punch until the attack button is released or it reaches a specific distance. Force Blast is now the combination of Fighter's Force Blast and Boxing Fighter's Star Punches, with Diving Downwards Punch. For the attack's first charge, Pink Floyd performs a quick and strong hook punch. The second charge attack is Range Strike, where Kirby's Pink Floyd lunges forwards and strikes with a powerful hook punch. The third charge is Platinum Fists, where Kirby's Pink Floyd lunges forward with a Superman punch, and if it lands, its hits perform a quick, yet stronger, Barrage Punch. These 3 charge attack moves hone into any nearby enemies. Replacing Leg Sweep, we have Sliding Triple Kick, where Kirby does a regular slide attack and their Pink Floyd performs a series of kicks. For Spin Kick, we now have Passionate Resolve Kick, where Kirby's Pink Floyd starts with a grounded spin kick, followed by a high kick which raises Pink Floyd's into the air, and ends with a floor stomp in midair. If you instead mash the button up to the slide, Kirby will perform a new move, Barrage Kick Rush, where Kirby's Pink Floyd will perform a few barrage kicks while slightly moving forwards. Rising Break gets replaced for Golden Blazing Fists, where Kirby's Pink Floyd leaps into the air with a Rising Uppercut, immediately replaced by a flurry of upward punches, ending with a spike. Fighter's Moon Somersault is now a simple downward punch by Kirby's Pink Floyd. Finally, Spirit Fighter has Kirby gain the ability to stop time when performing a perfect dodge. As opposed to slowing down time when dodging, Kirby stops time for 2 seconds. During this time, Kirby is free to attack the enemy they dodged with any of Pink Floyd's attack while they stand in place. The attacks do not deal any type of damage until time resumes. Once it does, the collective damage amount of the attacks performed is dealt. If Kirby moves from place at any moment, Kirby will instead resume time upon the push of the attack button.
Now, Kirby lets darkness consume their heart with Fighter's boss theme evolution. Holding the power to destroy planets with a single fist is Termina Fighter. Based after Kirby Star Allies' final boss, Void Termina, Kirby gains the power of Void Termina's first and third attack phases from their boss fight, gaining the power to create massive shockwaves and summon legendary weapons. Vulcan Jab once again gains 2 variations. The first is Destructive Beating Punch, done by tapping the attack button. For every slow tap, Kirby punches the ground, creating 3 flares that travel outward. Kirby uses an alternating fist for each punch. If instead of slowly tapping the attack button, you instead mash it, Kirby will perform Destructive Stomp Strike. For this attack, Kirby slowly jumps up and stomps the ground until the button mashing stops, each stomp creating a traveling shockwave on the ground. For Force Blast's first charge, Kirby performs the Destructive Dual Slash, where they conjure up 2 giant swords on their hands. They apply a fire, ice, or electric element to the attack, and perform a horizontal slash, followed by a vertical slash, and finishing it off with a cross slash that creates a giant X-shaped energy wave which flies forwards. Those attacks creating shockwaves respective to their elements. For Force Blast's second and final charge, Kirby instead conjures a big crown, one which resembles a crown of evil and obsession, which fires many huge devastating lasers from its inside. For leg sweep, Kirby now does the move Fallen Heaven. In this attack, Kirby slides forwards while levitating a little bit over the ground at an angled pose. The slide of course causing damage. Its follow-up attack, Spin Kick, is now Bows of Rainbow. For this attack, Kirby raises up into the air and conjures 2 bows flowing beside themselves, shooting 1 fire and 1 ice arrow one after the other forwards, these leaving a wave of ice spikes and fire each behind their pathways. For the other slide follow-up attack, Rising Break, Kirby now instead performs Spears of Love, where they fly into the air and cause spears to rain down from the sky. The number of spears rained down depend on how long you hold the attack button for. The same goes on for how long Kirby stays levitating in midair. After raining down a maximum of 8 spears, Kirby automatically stops and falls from the air. These spears try to close in on nearby foes. Finally, for Moon Somersault, Kirby now performs Axe of Fury, where they conjure up a giant axe and then slam it forwards by flipping the axe. If the axe hits the ground, it will create a shockwave. If Kirby is still in midair when the axe is flipped, Kirby will instead perform a complete front flip. And here we have this episode's Patreon voted ability, that being the musical master, Mike. In this 3D environment, the ability works by amplifying its reach in a cone-like way. For the first attack, Megaphone, Kirby screams into their mic and sends a bunch of mighty sound waves forwards which slightly expand in size. For the second attack, Desk Mic, Kirby also sends a ton of powerful sound waves forward by screaming into their mic, but the reach from this attack is increased by 2, hitting higher, further, and wider. Finally, we have the third attack, Stand Mic, where Kirby poses like a rock star, and with a powerful might, screams into their microphone. This attack working as a regular screen wipe attack, similar to Crash's. To further differentiate this ability from Crash, Kirby cannot charge this attack by pressing and holding the attack button. In Kirby and the Forgotten Land, limited use abilities get only one evolution, like Sleep and Crash. And since Mike falls into this category, it will also only have one evolution. That being the handheld operating master, Boom Mike. This evolution allows the Mike ability to be used up to 5 times. However, it holds a gimmick. For it to be used, the player must press and hold the attack button for Kirby to pull out the microphone. As Kirby holds onto the mic, the player can slowly move around and aim the direction of this microphone. This microphone will not hurt any enemies. For example, if an enemy is near it, Kirby will simply move the microphone away from collision, whether that being by lifting it, lowering it, or slightly moving it to the side. So, how do you attack? Well, you attack by simply picking up sound with the microphone, of course. The instant you hear any noise coming from any enemy or item where the microphone is placed near to, the player must release the attack button instantly. Depending on the item of this button release, sound waves will come from Kirby's headphones, and they will engulf the scene. By releasing the attack button as the chosen sound begins to play, the sound waves that Kirby creates will cause a screen wipe, similar to the one made with the stand mic attack. By releasing the attack button slightly after the sound begins to play, the sound wave will be as big as the one made with the stand mic attack. And by releasing the attack button fairly after the sound begins to play, the sound wave will be as big as the one made by the megaphone attack. In theory, this allows the player to do up to 5 screen wipe attacks. However, the timing is rather tricky, since releasing the attack button immediately before the sound begins to play results in a small and weak sound wave attack. And just like that, more of Kirby's copy abilities have been given evolutions. You can choose one of the next 3 abilities by becoming a channel supporter over at Patreon. Speaking of supporters, special thanks to Mikel, Crab, Cody Thomas, and my other Patreons. Thank you so much for your support. To everyone else, thank you for watching, and I hope you look forward to the next Kirby's Forgotten Abilities episode. Have a great day. Bye!